Welcome back. The past week in tech was a contradiction, straight up. In the same news cycle, OpenAI's head of robotics resigned over a classified Department of Defense deal. Anthropic got blocked from defense contracts and labeled a supply chain risk by the Pentagon. Wow. And Nvidia posted the most profitable quarter in semiconductor history, $68.1 billion in a single quarter, up 73% year over year, full year $215.9 billion. So one side of that story is the ethics of autonomous AI at military scale. The other is the pure economics of who controls the compute layer. They are not separate conversations. They are the same conversation about who gets to build the infrastructure that runs the next decade of everything. Today, we're connecting four things: the defense AI ethics crisis, the robo-taxi arms race, NVIDIA's infrastructure monopoly, and what the AGI timeline collapse means for every builder working right now. Because if you do not understand the stack battle, you cannot find your position in it. So let me explain the stack battle in one paragraph. Three layers control the AI infrastructure war: compute, data, and models. The entity that controls all three at scale dominates. Mathematically, Microsoft, Google, Meta, Apple, and now Elon Musk with what he is calling Macro Hard, a joint project between Tesla and xAI. The vision: AI is not a feature layered on top of software. AI becomes the foundation that software is built from. So, why is Tesla positioned for this? Tesla has logged billions of miles of real world driving data, the data that fuels training loops. The vehicles are sensor arrays. The software stack is already AI native. If you combine that proprietary data moat with xAI's model development and Tesla's compute infrastructure, you have a serious contender for layer 1. So, here's the key insight for builders. The early cloud era looked like this: AWS, Google Cloud, and Azure. I say Azure. Consolidated compute, and that consolidated creating the application layer market that generated trillions in value for companies that built on top of them. The question is not whether to compete with the infrastructure giants. The question is, what workflow problem do you solve at the application layer that they are too big and too unfocused to prioritize? That's the insight. Solo operators do not win at layer 1. The compute plus data plus models consolidation creates the market for everything built on top of it. The ICP for B Logic, small business operators running manual workflows. It'll never be a priority for Macro Hard or Microsoft Copilot. That gap is the product. The robo-taxi race is the clearest example of AI infrastructure consolidation playing out in the physical world. Uber announced at CES 2026 that they are deploying 20,000 level 4 autonomous taxis using the Lucid Gravity platform. Bay Area testing started December 2025. Full rollout is expected sometime in 2026 to 2027, and Amazon's ZooX is expanding to Phoenix and Dallas. Waymo is running a different model: AI assisted monitoring, where humans supervise remotely but do not drive. That human in the loop approach is building more regulatory trust, and I think that is the right move given where the technology actually is. So here's what connects all three players. Every autonomous vehicle running today uses NVIDIA's Drive AGX Thor as the backbone processing unit. The physical AI economy and the digital AI economy both run on the same silicon. NVIDIA has both markets. So now the ethics layer, because this week cracked it open. Caitlin Kalinowski, OpenAI's head of robotics, resigned. So her stated concern is OpenAI signed a classified agreement to deploy AI models across Department of Defense networks. She warned about surveillance expansion, lethal autonomous weapons, and insufficient internal debate before the deal was finalized. OpenAI's public position is that strict red lines exist: no domestic surveillance, no autonomous lethal weapons. Critics argue the loopholes are real. So, in the same news cycle, Anthropic was labeled a supply chain risk by the Pentagon, and agencies were forced to phase out Claude. So, defense contracts were blocked. The most safety focused frontier AI lab got treated as a liability. So here's my read from where I stand in Bridgeport. We're not ready for AI and autonomous lethal decision making. Not even close. In software, oh God, software, the leverage is real and I use it every day. In the physical world, with irreversible consequences, the oversight framework does not exist yet. So the companies moving fastest into defense AI are not the ones who have solved alignment. They're the ones who have the best lobbying operations. So let me talk about the AGI timeline because the collapse in predictions should affect how you are planning the next 24 months. Jeez, bro. A few years ago, the expert consensus was AGI around 2050 to 2060, maybe longer. Now, Dario Amodei says 2026 or 2027. We're in 2026 right now. They're just saying things at this point. I'll be real. That's BS. Elon Musk says next year. Also BS. Elon Musk is a liar. We know this. I don't respect him. I respect, the business that he's taken over, I guess. I don't know. But I respect the fact that he wants to do such grand things in the world. I respect that. However, I don't respect his morality. It seems like he has no moral compass. No, he doesn't have a moral compass. Ain't no if, ands, or buts about it. And I don't speak politically over here, but come on, bro. He has no moral compass. We're not going to talk about why. It's not the video for this. So, Metaculus is the forecasting platform with a strong track record, and it dropped its median prediction from 50 years away to the early 2030s. So here's the problem they're all running into simultaneously: data scarcity. We are approaching the ceiling of quality human generated training data. When models train on synthetic AI generated output, errors begin to compound. So the model degrades into repetitive patterns. The physics wall is transistors are approaching the subatomic level, and Moore's law is effectively over. It's basically done. The energy wall sustained The energy wall is sustained AI chip demand could require over 4% of total US electricity supply by 2028. And the economics wall is training frontier models is approaching Apollo program cost levels. Apollo program cost levels. So for the builder trying to get to $1,000 MRR, here's the honest translation. The window between now and general AI capability is the last window where human judgment commands a genuine premium in the workflows these systems have not yet mastered. The operator who builds the right process infrastructure in 2026 will transition into the AGI era positioned, not scrambling to catch up. So that's not fear, that's timing. So we got to use it. Hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip hop. Xbox just went through a major pivot. Phil Spencer retired. The new Microsoft gaming CEO is Asha Sharma, former Instacart COO, former Microsoft AI executive. The strategic direction is AI native gaming, intelligent NPCs that remember your play history. So, procedural world generation. Environments are built in real time rather than handcrafted. So, AI generated missions, adaptive difficulty systems. My skepticism on the mission generation: AI models hallucinate and repeat patterns. So, if a procedural mission engine runs on a system that has not solved its repetition problem, the content homogenizes within a few hours of playing. So human design direction has to stay in the loop for that use case. So what's interesting beyond the gaming angle is the tooling being built for AI native games. Procedural generation, adaptive content, real-time intelligent agents applies directly to training simulations. interactive media, and education platforms. So the creative stack is changing. If you're building in any adjacent space, the tooling is about to get cheaper and more capable fast. So, 5 actionable plays before I let you go. Test Cursor for agentic coding. They claim 10x development speed. I don't believe the 10x number, but I have felt meaningfully faster on BeatLogic since I started using it. Test it against your specific workflow. The claim matters less than whether it delivers or on your actual task set. Try Claude Code Security. It's built for full code-based understanding, vulnerability detection, automatic bug fixes, repository scanning. In testing it, it uncovered over 500 bugs across open source projects. For a solo operator with no quality assurance team, that's real leverage. Download Olama and run at least one local model. Cloud outages are real. So when your workflow depends entirely on external APIs, you're one status page incident away from a dead work session. So run local where you can. That is infrastructure sovereignty. So track NVIDIA's May 20th earnings report because it's the single clearest signal for the next AI infrastructure cycle. When NVIDIA moves, every downstream market moves with it. So watch the data center revenue line specifically. Data center revenue line. Data center revenue line, remember. So build around AI infrastructure, not against it. It's stupid to build against AI. The startups that win this era are not trying to build another foundational model. They're solving specific high friction, human judgment intensive workflows that the platform players will never prioritize. That is where BeatLogic lives. Real estate teams running manual lead research. Small business operators copy pasting data between tabs. The boring, high value, repetitive costs, repetitive workflows that are invisible to Microsoft and Google. So drop your 2026 tech play in the comments. Robo taxis, NVIDIA, an AI tool you are building, anything. I shout out everyone who comments with something specific. So if you're a small business operator still handling browser workflows by hand, that is exactly what BeatLogic automates. No API setup, no engineering overhead. Try modelogic.com. Stay sovereign. Let's keep building. The solo operator does not compete at layer 1. They build on top of the consolidation. In the application layer, problems that the platforms will never prioritize.